Good morning. You will be taking the STAAR Grade 7 Reading Test, administered April 2014. Read the selection and choose the best answer to each question. Then fill in the answer on your answer document. Please pause your device at this time, read the selection, and then turn your device back on to hear the answers read. The questions read, excuse me. Number 1. Why does Luca mention Jesse Martin in paragraph 7? A. To imply that Laura should wait until she is a few years older to sail alone. B. To add support to his claim that young people are capable of sailing alone. C. To show that male sailors and female sailors are equally skilled at sailing. D. To suggest that Jessie be one of the sailors who helps Laura plan her trip. Number 2. Which of Maya's statements is an example of stereotyping? F. I think sailing around the world would be a fabulous idea, but when you are 18 and legally an adult. Or G. Even if Laura completes her schoolwork on board the boat, she would miss the opportunity to work in a group and share her ideas with other students. H. I think parents and judges should make the decision because teenagers often make irrational decisions, especially when trying to obtain attention for a world record. Or J. Time passes quickly. Every minute is one less minute to live. Number 3. Both Luke and Maya agree that A. Teenagers should be trained to sail. B. The ocean can be a dangerous place. C. Sailing around the world is not a good idea. Or D. Most teenagers can respond well to physical risks. Number 4. Read the dictionary entry below. Shadow. Verb. 1. To shelter from light and heat. 2. To have colors that gradually pass one into another. 3. To follow or keep under observation. Or 4. To become dark. Which definition best fits the meaning of shadowing as it is used in paragraph 7? F. Definition 1. G. Definition 2. H. Definition 3. Or J. Definition 4. In paragraph 10, number 5. In paragraph 10, Maya included examples in her argument most likely because she A. Believed that the trip was scheduled to begin when the weather was most challenging. B. Knew that sailors need specialized training in order to respond to dangerous situations on a trip. C. Thought the pressure to set a world record was not worth the trip. D. Wanted to stress the potential for danger during the trip. Number 6. What idea is suggested by the information in each section of the table titled Fact Box? Laura Decker. F. Laura lacked formal training in sailing solo. G. Laura had made other solo journeys in her boat. H. Laura was well prepared to attempt her voyage. J. Laura continued her education through online classes. Number 7. The table titled Current Records Chart has been included in the selection most likely to A. Explain the differences between the trip Laura planned to take and the trips of other teenage sailors. B. Support the court's decision to deny Laura's request for permission to sail around the world. C. Highlight the length of time Laura had in order to complete the trip and qualify for the world record. D. Show that other young people had already succeeded in setting sailing records like Laura wanted to do. Page 11. Read the selection and choose the best answer to each question. Then fill in the answer on your answer document. Read the selection and choose the best answer to each question. Then fill in the answer on your answer document. Question number 8. Read the following sentence from paragraph 2. To the ordinary person, Cobble's knot was about as friendly as a nest of yellow jackets. The author uses the comparison to help the reader understand F. How impossible the task of untying the knot appears. G. That trying to untie the knot is physically painful. H. How dirty the knot seems to be. J. That the knot is a dangerous object. Question number 9. The details in paragraph 17 help the reader infer that A. Maniac is more interested in the crowd's reaction than in eating. B. People in the community believe in Maniac's abilities. C. The knot brings customers to Mr. Cobble's store. D. People who eat at Mr. Cobble's store have tried to untie the knot before. Number 10. Which sentence best summarizes the excerpt? F. At Mr. Cobble's store, people watch a young boy untangle a knot that many others have tried to untie and failed. G. Mr. Cobble holds a contest at his store, and many people come to watch as a boy tries to untie a knot that is famous in the town. H. Several spectators spend the day watching a boy struggle to untie a knot while they eat pizza and drink soda at Mr. Cobble's store. J. A young boy accepts the challenge of untying a knot at Mr. Cobble's store and is able to do so after taking a nap. Number 11. Which sentence foreshadows that Maniac will be successful in untying the knot? A. He laid his fingertips on it as though feeling for a pulse. B. After an hour, except for a few more finger-sized loops, all Maniac had to show for his trouble were the flakes of knot crust that covered the table. C. They brought out the official square wooden table for the challenger to stand on. And from the moment Maniac climbed up, you could tell the knot was in big trouble. D. And there stood Maniac, turning the knot, checking it out. Number 12. The author uses short sentences in paragraph 21 to help create a feeling of F, affection, G, expectation, H, appreciation, J, satisfaction. Number 13. In paragraph 3, the descriptions of Maniac's expression suggest that the spectators A. Believe that Maniac is not interested in attempting the challenge. B. Think the knot will not present much of a challenge for Maniac. C. Have different interpretations of Maniac's thoughts about the challenge. D. Know that the challenge is really just a trick being played on Maniac. Number 14. The Latin root testis, meaning witness, helps the reader understand that the word testimony in paragraph 2 means F, warning, G, evidence, H, attempt, J, assistance. Number 15. What is the significance of the crowd returning at lunchtime to watch Maniac? A. It emphasizes that any attempt to untie the knot is an important event to the town. B. It suggests that Maniac performs tasks better when he has an audience. C. It suggests that people in town expect Maniac to have given up already. D. It emphasizes that most people in town buy their food from Mr. Cobble's store. 16. Which sentence best shows that Maniac approaches the challenge of the knot with thoughtfulness? F. Mr. Cobble himself came out to offer Maniac some pizza, which Maniac, of course, politely turned down. G. Never a big pull or yank, just his fingertips touching and grazing and pecking away like some little bird. H. The rest of the spectators watched Maniac poke and tug and pick at the knot. Or J. He scraped a patch of crust off with his fingernail. Number 17. Read this sentence from paragraph 18. He would need the touch of a surgeon, the alertness of an owl, the cunning of 3 foxes, and the foresight of a grand master in chess. The author uses figurative language in this sentence most likely to exaggerate the skills Maniac needs in order to accomplish the task. B. Demonstrate the qualities possessed by others who have attempted the task. C. Explain the help Maniac needs from others in order to accomplish the task. D. Identify the variety of people who have attempted the task. Page 19. Read the next 2 selections, then choose the best answer to each question. Use Uncovering a New Era in Archaeology, pages 19 through 20, to answer questions 18 through 21. Then fill in the answers on your answer document. 18. The author includes a description in paragraph 1, most likely to F. Illustrate the significance of what archaeologists hope to discover. G. Explain the tasks most commonly performed by archaeologists. H. Emphasize the difficulty archaeologists face when trying to locate ancient cities. J. Highlight the activities that take the most time for archaeologists to perform. Question 19. In paragraph 5, the examples of lost cities suggest that a major role of an archaeologist is to A. Explain why real locations are mentioned in ancient literature. B. Locate written accounts of powerful cities that no longer exist. C. Create replicas of historical buildings based on satellite images. Or D. Find clues that provide a better understanding of the past. Number 20. In paragraph 3, the author uses the example of the 3,000-year-old house in Tanis to F. Prove that satellites are constantly taking photographs to locate ancient cities. G. Demonstrate that sites once thought to be fictional have been proved to exist. H. Emphasize that satellite photography is powerful enough to find a single building. J. Suggest that previously discovered sites may be much older than originally thought. Number 21. Parkak hopes that the use of modern technology in archaeology will A. Inspire more young people to become archaeologists. B. Help archaeologists better understand previous discoveries. C. Lead to more archaeological discoveries being used in movies. D. One day allow archaeologists to find objects smaller than a meter in diameter. Use Picturing the Past for the Future, page 21 and 22, to answer questions 22 through 26. Then fill in the answers on your answer document. 22. Read the dictionary entry below for the word mission. Mission, noun, a group of people sent to establish relations with a foreign country. 2. A special assignment. 3. A building for carrying out religious or charity work. 4. A welfare organization established for people in need. Which definition represents the meaning of mission as it is used in paragraph 2? Definition F, definition 1. G, definition 2. H, definition 3. J, definition 4. Number 23. Based on the information in the selection, which of these would STAAR most likely digitally preserve? A. Lambert Glacier, the largest glacier in Antarctica. B. Eagle, the American lunar module used by the first astronauts to land on the moon. C. Mount McKinley, the tallest mountain in North America. D. The Great Pyramid at Giza, an ancient pharaoh's tomb in the Egyptian desert. Number 24. Which sentence from the selection suggests that the author thinks STAAR's work is important? F. It's difficult to imagine a more majestic American landmark than Mount Rushmore, with its imposing likenesses of former presidents carved in stone and rising dramatically above the land. G. STAAR has documented locations across the globe. H. STAAR's preservation process ensures that images of such sites will be available for future generations even if the site itself is permanently lost. J. In 2010, Cedar Leaf learned that the tombs had burned to the ground. Number 25. Which emotion is the photograph most likely intended to evoke in the reader? A. Concern for the environment. B. Awe at a magnificent monument. C. Excitement about visiting South Dakota. Or D. Disappointment in the condition of the monument. 26. Which sentence expresses an opinion? F. It is even harder to imagine the loss to our nation if time or the elements were to destroy this beloved landmark. G. Thanks to a company called STAAR, sites like Mount Rushmore can now be digitally preserved and explored for years to come. H. The team then uses these data to create high-definition images for the site for storage. J. Sites such as these are constantly at risk of destruction from continual exposure to water, sun, and wind, or from natural disasters such as earthquakes. Use uncovering a new era in archaeology and picturing the past for the future to answer questions 27 through 31. Then fill in the answers on your answer document. Number 27. Dr. Sarah Parcak and Ben Kakra would most likely agree about the importance of A. Discovering sites made famous in films. B. Using three-dimensional models to create images of landmarks. C. Making future generations aware of important cultural history. D. Allowing tourists to visit historical sites through the internet. Number 28. How are the purposes of the technologies described in the selections different? F. The technology in uncovering a new era in archaeology is used mainly for recreating sites, while the technology in picturing the past for the future is used mainly for exploring sites. G. The technology in uncovering a new era in archaeology is used mainly for proving the age of sites, while the technology in picturing the past for the future is used mainly for recording facts about sites. H. The technology in uncovering a new era in archaeology is used mainly for making people aware of sites, while the technology in picturing the past for the future is used mainly for creating self-guided tours of sites. J. The technology in uncovering a new era in archaeology is used mainly for locating sites, while the technology in picturing the past for the future is used mainly for documenting sites. Number 29. What is similar about the types of technology discussed in the selections? A. Both require the use of satellites to locate sites. B. Both involve the use of recorded images. C. Both involve the creation of websites for educational purposes. D. Both require the sites to be surveyed before they are scanned. 30. Both Dr. Sarah Parcak and Ben Kakra are interested in sites F. Located in countries around the world. G. Built during the current century. H. Thought to be lost cities. J. at risk of being destroyed. Number 31. What is one difference between the selections? A. Uncovering a New Era in Archaeology discusses discovering the unknown, while Picturing the Past for the Future focuses on protecting what is known. B. Uncovering a New Era in Archaeology focuses on future events, while Picturing the Past for the Future focuses on the past. C. Uncovering a New Era in Archaeology focuses on one occupation, while Picturing the Past for the Future focuses on several different occupations. D. Uncovering a New Era in Archaeology cites an expert to support the author's claim, while Picturing the Past for the Future relies on examples to express the author's opinion. Read the selection and choose the best answer to each question. Then fill in the answer on your answer document. Number 32. Which lines from the poem best suggest that the speaker's situation is temporary? F. Doubtful, I have a fever. G. Tomorrow, I'll come around. H. Today, it hit like a thwop of mashed potatoes. J. I could attract mosquitoes. Maybe, not friends. Number 33. What is the most likely reason that the poet uses capitalization in line 6? A. To highlight a problem the speaker experiences. B. To stress the speaker's expectations for tomorrow. C. To indicate that the speaker's condition happens unexpectedly. D. To show the speaker's excitement about an upcoming event. Number 34. Read the following lines from the poem. And if you try to push my mood swing, I'll only drag my feet. The poet includes these lines most likely to suggest that the speaker, F, does not wish to be pushed on a swing. G. Wants to deal with the situation alone. H. Does not often receive help from others. J. Is not physically strong. Number 35. The imagery in lines 16 through 19 help the reader understand A. The shift in the speaker's attitude. B. The speaker's unpleasantness. C. Why the speaker has no friends. D. What the speaker thinks of others. 36. The poet reveals the speaker's feelings mainly by F. Using similes and metaphors to describe them. G. Explaining their effect on others. H. Connecting them to memories. J. Repeating specific words for emphasis. Read the selection and choose the best answer to each question. Then fill in the answer on your answer document. In paragraph 3, the word depicting means A. Reporting, B. Celebrating, C. Representing, D. Photographing. Number 38. What is the most likely reason that the author has included paragraph 1 in the article? F. To educate readers about the Battle of Gettysburg. G. To compare the Gettysburg cyclorama to a computer game. H. To give readers detailed information about Civil War battles. J. to simulate the experience of being at Gettysburg. Number 39. Look at the diagram of information from the article. Paul Philoppeteau painted the Gettysburg cyclorama. Versions of the Gettysburg cyclorama were displayed in Chicago and Boston. The third square is blank. The Gettysburg cyclorama was sold to an entrepreneur. Next, the government bought the Gettysburg cyclorama. Which of the following belongs in the empty box? A. Over time, fewer people visited the Gettysburg cyclorama. B. A military park displayed the Gettysburg cyclorama. C. The top section was cut from the Gettysburg cyclorama. D. People donated objects to display with the Gettysburg cyclorama. 40. Paragraph 4 is mainly about the F. Importance of Pickett's charge to the Civil War. G. Work Paul Philoppeteau put into painting the cyclorama. H. Reason Paul Philoppeteau was hired to paint the cyclorama. J. Popularity of Civil War battles as art objects. Number 41. Which of these is the best summary of the article? A. In 1882, the French artist Paul Philoppeteau was hired to paint scenes from the Battle of Gettysburg. The artist made hundreds of sketches of the battlefield, had photos taken of the area, and interviewed combat veterans. It took Philoppeteau a year and a half to paint the famous Gettysburg cyclorama. B. Cycloramas, a common form of entertainment in the late 1800s, are large paintings that usually depict scenes from literature or history. A cyclorama is hung inside a circular auditorium where viewers can stand in the center and turn 360 degrees to view the entire work. The Gettysburg cyclorama was painted in 1882 and still can be seen today. C. The Gettysburg cyclorama, originally created in 1882, is a huge circular painting of a Civil War battle. The viewing auditorium contains a raised platform and incorporates effects that allow visitors to have a unique experience while looking at the scenes. The cyclorama is on display at the Gettysburg National Military Park, where it attracts crowds of enthusiastic viewers. D. Visitors to the Gettysburg National Military Park can view the Gettysburg cyclorama, a famous circular work of art that shows scenes from the important Civil War battle. The cyclorama was painted in 1882, and versions were displayed in Chicago and Boston. Many years later, it was sold to the U.S. government. Number 42. In paragraph 7, the word restoration means the act of F. Beginning something over again. G. Using something old in a new way. H. Studying something special to learn from it. J. Bringing something back to its original condition. Number 43. The images included with the article help the reader understand A. Who won the Battle of Gettysburg? B. What the chaos of Pickett's charge was like. C. What the soldiers remembered most about the Battle of Gettysburg. D. Why Pickett's charge was important to the Battle of Gettysburg. Page 41. Read the selection and choose the best answer to each question. Then fill in the answer on your answer document. Question number 44. Why is jewel bird an appropriate name for the sleeping bird Nana and the narrator find? F. It is graceful as it rises into the air. G. The sun can bring it back to life. H. It has a spot of vibrant red on its throat. J. The golden feathers on its chest puff up. Number 45. How does the author reveal Nana's reason for getting up early in the mornings? A. By providing Nana's response about seeing the jewel bird awaken. B. By explaining that Nana does not need as much sleep as other people. C. By comparing the way the narrator and Nana walked through the woods one morning. D. By describing the experiences the narrator has as she follows Nana one morning. Number 46. Read this sentence from paragraph 38. My breath caught inside my chest. The author includes this sentence most likely to show the narrator's excitement over seeing the hummingbird. G. How strenuous the journey to see the hummingbird has been for the narrator. H. How quickly the narrator feels a connection to the hummingbird. Or J. The narrator's surprise that the hummingbird is alive. Number 47. What lesson does the narrator learn while spending time with her grandmother? A. Mysteries in nature usually have complex explanations. B. Spending time outdoors helps a person maintain good health. C. People who wake up early have more time to participate in daily activities. D. Ordinary events can be explained in imaginative ways. Number 48. The author's use of similes in paragraph 22 creates a feeling of F. Courage, G. Amazement, H. Expectation, J. Pride. 49. The figurative language in paragraph 20 helps the reader imagine the A. Smell of a field of wildflowers, B. First signs that winter is approaching, C. Sweet taste of fresh honey in spring, D. Sun beginning to rise on the horizon. Question 50. The author includes the question in paragraph 17 most likely to F. Suggest a change in the narrator's beliefs. G. Show the narrator's desire to be adventurous. H. Reveal the narrator's lack of knowledge. J. Indicate the narrator's feelings toward her father. Be sure you have recorded all of your answers on the answer document. This test is now over.